Obeng Krampa imports second-hand furniture to sell in his home city of Accra, but he's struggling to balance the books. Inflation in Ghana has hit 40% this year, and the currency has almost halved in value against the US dollar.
The amount you use to import, let's say, one container, these days you have to double the amount. The same goods, the same quantity, but the amount has been doubled.
Across the world, central banks have imposed sharp rate rises to try to tame inflation driven by soaring energy costs. The US Federal Reserve raised interest rates 6 times in 2022, strengthening the dollar.
People buy goods, they sell goods, but there is a difference in time between them. If during that time the currency changes, the manufacturer or the buyer can lose money. And all this, remember, is also tied to inflation, and not just inflation, but expectations of inflation. So how, if I'm selling burgers, how much should I price them now? Or should I keep changing the price every day?
The uncertainty has hit the world economy. Forecast to grow just 2.2% in 2023, down from over 5% last year.
Rising global interest rates are increasing the cost of borrowing, putting many households, firms and governments under increased pressure. Russia's war against Ukraine has also worsened the conditions for low-income countries. Many of them are particularly vulnerable to high food and energy prices, and in addition, tighter global financial conditions raise the risk of further debt distress in those countries.
That distress is felt acutely in Sri Lanka, which is suffering its worst financial crisis since independence in 1948. The government defaulted on its debts in May as inflation hit 70%.
We can't afford to buy chicken, fish, or any other meat. We only eat vegetables and leaves. It is difficult for us to even send our children to schools and even provide them proper meals. We are going through a very hard time.
Across the world, workers are demanding better pay as inflation eats into their wages. In Britain, nurses and ambulance workers are set to stage strikes in December.
I've had to cut down on a lot of things with the kids, which I can't afford to provide for them because of the high cost of living.
Inflation is forecast to fall back slightly in 2023, but with the war in Ukraine still raging and energy prices high, the new year will bring little relief for the billions of people struggling to get by. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.